So, of course, we had to do this video, guys. Let's see what the Datamines found by Zabi can show to us on the hidden inner bits of the dev server that got changed that we don't know about. Of course, I did a video, showing most of the things that were changed today. We had quite a bit, actually, and we are getting closer and closer to a dev being pretty much ready, right? But I still believe we are a little bit far off. We will probably have more dev servers. I honestly would really be surprised if we don't. And here are some of the things that they added there are not in the first video. So the first thing is for the GRIPEN C. So basically now it has a little bit more pull after 20 degrees of AOA. It's not by much, but it will be a little bit more. But also, I think the main important thing is that they fixed a bug where basically the maneuvering mode apparently were not doing anything for the GRIPEN. I don't know if I understood that correctly, because it would be kind of a weird thing. But if you actually play in the normal game and then you go to the dev server, you will notice that here the aircraft is being able to pull a little bit more. It's a little bit more unstable, but of course it can pull a little bit more AOA. And you can even see basically the difference, right? If I pull like this and then click, you will see that it turns a little bit more. It's not by much, it really isn't, but it's not like a Cobra button like an Su-27 is, kind of. But yeah, the maneuvering mode now works properly, I think, with the GRIPEN C, which was something that it wasn't really happening before. So this aircraft should be able to dogfight a little bit better, actually, which is pretty cool. Let me know in the comments if you think that this aircraft should get the A120C5, guys, and maybe even have its BR increase, or if we should just go to the E model. Remember, apparently the Thai are gonna buy the E model. They confirmed this week, if I'm not mistaken, that they're gonna probably buy the GRIPEN E. So maybe we will see the GRIPEN E even in Japan like this. So very cool, right? Let's get to the next one. I forgot completely to show in that video that a new boat was added for the British, the MTB 460. Nothing too fancy over here, but yeah, it is a new boat in the Coastal Fleet Tech Tree. Okay, another very weird thing that I gotta say, guys, this is cursed. Prepare yourself if you are a Russian main. But the MiG-29 Sniper received Mark 80s bombs. So we have the Mark 82 and also the Mark 83. Isn't this one of the most cursed MiG-29s ever now with Mark 83s? It's just so weird to see it. You know, it's so cool, but very weird at the same time. But yeah, they added the Mark 82 and 83 for the MiG-29 Sniper. Interesting, but yeah. Another thing that I have to mention, guys, I already talked about that a little bit, but I will reiterate that, is that this Z10, although I said it is a premium in the first video that we did today, and it is in the dev server a premium, apparently it's supposed to be a squadron vehicle. I don't know exactly now, but apparently this thing is supposed to be a squadron vehicle, okay? Another thing that it's pretty interesting, they added NCTR for many vehicles, but mainly for the new F2 and also for the new AA system. So you will see that, of course, they added the cockpit as well. Already talked about that in the other video, but look at this. If we actually try to detect those targets, let's see if we can, if they're not flying too perpendicular, you will see that they are identified with the NCTR. In this case, MiG-15, and the other one is a MiG-15. So very, very cool. And it's not only that, in this case, for the F2, sometimes, I mean, it's not appearing now. Am I seeing things? I think I'm seeing things. I could have sworn that it said the type of the ship, but I think I'm just seeing things. So for example, here as well, you will see up there, see? Multi-jet, MiG-15, heli, it is identifying the type of target now. All of these new AA systems will be able to do this, which is very cool because you can actually properly engage the most threatening target, right? And remember, guys, these AA systems, sometimes I mean, the Iris-T feels like it would be better, but it is not. But I mean, at the end of the day, guys, I mean, look at this. You can basically if you actually put the launcher, right, you can do something crazy like this. There you go. Multiple missiles. Everybody is destroyed. So with that, you can do that, right? So the NCTR really does help for you to identify the target. So all the new AA systems apparently are getting this, which is pretty cool. Identification is always a good thing. And the two last things that I wanted to talk about is missiles. So we have two missiles that are a little bit more improved now and working. So the first one is the Mirage 3S. I already talked about this missile, you know, this aircraft in the other video, that it has the Falcon missile, or the AIM-26 Falcon, right? The BVR missile technically that the Mirage 3S has. This missile, it is one of the weirdest missiles in the game. And yeah, now we have in the files why they are so weird. Because look at this. If I actually use the missile like in an off-board kind of situation here, it just flies directly straight and then it will start to turn later, right? So it has a very, very similar thing, like for example the R-23 or something like that, but it's out of nowhere. So it's kind of crazy, this missile. So while we go there, I'm gonna read some of the stuff. For example, the booster time is only 2.09 seconds and the guidance start delay is 2 seconds. So for the most part, while it's burning, it will basically not guide for whole 2 seconds, which is pretty large, right? After that, it will turn actually 28 Gs, and it will have a guidance time of 30 seconds, which is okay, I think, and a flight range limit of 19 kilometers. So yeah, it's a very, very different missile. Because, for example, the R-23 starts to turn very slowly. This thing just delays itself up to 2 seconds while you are burning, and then it starts to turn out of nowhere, which it kind of even is funny. So we're not having too much guidance over here, we are too far away, but let me see if I can make this work. Yeah, see, like just before it stops the burn, it just turns out of nowhere, right? So it is a very different missile, and it's gonna be a very cool one to use. And the other missile that I wanted to talk about is the Chinese AA system, the FB10 one, which is used by the CS SA5, right? This AA system over here. So now we have two options. We have the FB10 and the FB10A. The main difference between them is the range, so missile guidance time, burn time, stuff like that, right? But they're both very interesting missiles because they're way better than what they were. They're not as good as some of the other ones, like the IRIS-T, what the AIM-9X will be when it's fully added, and even the Python stuff, but it's still pretty interesting because it has a 20-kilometer seeker range limit, which is pretty interesting. It has a pre-IRCCM of 5 degrees, so you can see that it's pretty large, but after it goes for the lock, it has an IRCCM of 0.25, so it is just like the best, just like we have the IRCCM of the IRIS-T and some others. It will be like that, basically 1/3 of the IRCCM, on the size of the IRCCM of the R-73. So it's very, very, very strong. And I don't know if you noticed there, but this missile lofts very heavily as well, which is something that they added to the missile, and it is turning 20 Gs, right? So it's very, very cool. Actually, this missile is one of the coolest missiles in the game. It has its problems, but it has so many features, like the loft and the IRCCM. Everything is so good. Together with this AA gun, it's just it became a very good AA system. One problem with it is that they added a 20-degree limit for where you are positioning your missiles, right? So it means that, for example, now I'm aiming directly upwards here, but the missiles cannot go there. And apparently this is wrong. They were looking into some images, players, and it is not supposed to be doing that. It's supposed to be able to push more upwards. You can still use it, like for example, if you actually get a lock, even if it's, above the 20 degrees, so, you can see it's above the 20 degrees, but I warm it up the missile, it goes for that aircraft. If I don't have that lock, it doesn't go there, right? So you can still make it work. So like, you know, it doesn't work here. If I go into a lock, it will work. It will be fired downwards, but it will climb and get to the target. So it's not the end of the world, but it's something that it's a little bit annoying and it should be fixed if it's wrong. Apparently it is. But basically this is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know in the comments what you think about the dev server. Is it ready? Is it ready for the update? I don't think it is, but let me know in the comments. See ya, guys. Bye.